Today we are going to approach the theme of the junk food, a phenomenon which develops for several years and which became very current and almost universal, in particular because of the globalization. Numerous studies are led for several years on the scale of this phenomenon and on its consequences. Indeed, the junk food is dangerous. It's bad for the health and it's at the origin of numerous diseases and health problems. It affects all the individuals in any age, in particular the youngest. The junk food shows itself of various manners. It's at first a way to feed, which is translated by food bad habits, at the consumption of deep frozen dishes, the eroding, the fact of not respecting the nutritional rules, a preference for sweets and fat products. It's also the fact not to buy fresh products and to favor factory feedstuff. This phenomenon is due to several reasons. The quality food is expensive, and everybody does not choose to favor the spending for a healthy food. Then the phenomenon of junk food is also the consequence of a lack of time or desire to cook. Indeed, it's simpler and cheaper to warm a meal already prepared than to spend 3 hours to cook something which will be eaten with not much time. However, it's also necessary to understand that the junk food is a phenomenon of socialization. For example, it's very pleasant to find friends in a fast food or at home and to share a meal, not to eat alone. Furthermore, if the junk food is bad for the health, it is generally very appreciated because it's well known the fat is better. The junk food is thus the consequence of a lack of time and desire to cook. The junk food is thus the consequence of a lack of time and desire to cook, of a too much squeezed financial budget and embody a way of socialization. That's why it affects particularly a category of the population, the students. The globalization and internet favors in parallel this development. Today, in spite of all the dangers which it implies, the junk food is very popular all around the world, and we are going to show that. I choose to question a student to the university, Lucy, and to ask her questions on what she buys when she makes her shopping. Her testimony reveals me both major problems which are confronting the students, the price and the time.
Hey Lucy, why did you choose those products?
Because it's good and sweet, and not like this.
Do you know it's bad for your health?
I just don't care about it, it's just good.
The basic products of the food, as a quality meat, are not accessible to the students because the price is too expensive. Nevertheless, to be able to eat some red meat or other fresh products is very important for the health. Unfortunately, the students have to content themselves with frozen products if they want to eat some meat, what is cheaper but has no same nutritional values.
Hey Lucy, where do you pick your meal?
I choose frozen food.
Why?
Because it's too expensive here and I am a student.
Okay.
Indeed, if we observe how is cut and sold the meat in butcher shops, we can notice at first the high health prices, but also the wasting. On a piece of red meat, the weight which the customer pays is not exact because the butcher removes all the fat. The result is that the customer pays, for example, a piece of 200-gram meat, but really eats only 150. This example concerns here only the red meat, but it's true also for the fish and other products.
Why do you choose it?
Because I don't have time to lunch today,
Ah.
so I will just put it in my bag and eat it.
Oh, and do you like to eat?
Yes, I think it's a good meal.
Mm.
We've got
Is it
everything.
Is it expensive?
It's like €3. Yes. So.
There's a lot.
But these are not good. I tried before.
We can observe the same thing for fruits and vegetables, and on this subject it's not only a question of money. Indeed, the productions stemming from foreign countries are more accessible than the local and regional productions, which are often much more expensively. Another aspect, however, is to be taken into account. If the students like food of the meat or some fish, they do not necessarily feel like eating vegetables, especially as to cook vegetables takes time and that is not in the reflexes of the students. Often the students worry more their purse than their health. Useful mistake.
Sometimes do you buy some fruits or vegetables?
Yes, I often buy apples, but it's all, I think.
Why? It's too expensive too?
Yes, but I don't like vegetables.
And do you like to cook vegetables?
No, I prefer to buy something which is already prepared.
Oh, you don't want to pass time to cook?
Yes, I just want to eat pasta and eat fast to get out with my friends.
And do you think prepared food is food that eat only students or much people?
No, some of my friends are cooking, but it's because they like to eat things.
Which are good.
Yes, and healthy, I think, but it's not my case.
Internet is finally the ultimate tool to convey images and recipes of fast food, locate fast food the closest to one, to command meals possibly. In spite of numerous reports and inquiries on the dangers of the consumption of junk food, in spite of the shocking images of obesity, sometimes on children, the junk food phenomenon continues to spread, even if certain restaurants begin to propose healthier alternatives.
Do you like healthy food or do you like junk food? Do you like healthy food or do you...
And the globalization doesn't settle things. The brands of fast food are implanted everywhere and meet a big success. At the same time, the street food develops with kebabs or stand-up food, and new concepts were set up, as Deliveroo or Speedburger to deliver the food. Restaurant kebabs remain sometimes opened all night long. Their clientele especially consists of students who can feed on burgers and on other things, what time imported. The ultimate bonus of the junk food? It little raise price. Remember yourselves, the students worry more their purse than their health.
Piece, so throw it across the room. When the pan is hot, oil and toast. Season. Flick minced onion on the bottom and middle bun. You are done. There you have it, folks. The best and most authentic Big Mac clone recipe ever.